hello again. We are live. How are you? Today we have another mate time. Yes, another mate time together. Hello. Thank you for joining. Uh, if you don't know, mate time is this one. It's a mate. This is a beautiful mate a friend gave me as a gift. Uh, her mate. I will post it in the post later, so you can follow her. It's Dulce Capriccio, and if you want a beautiful mate like me, you can get it in Argentina. And mate time, if you don't know, is a space for conversation. For us, this is a traditional drink from Argentina, and the mate is conversation. It means family, it means friends, and today mate time is about conversation with a wonderful woman who is going to talk about feminine energies, and we are going to discuss. She's going to share her story. So I'm waiting for her to join. I'm not sure if she sent a request or not yet. I cannot see, but let's wait for her to join. And in the meantime, I just share with you more information about the matter if you want to know. I'm from Argentina, and this is something that we drink, like my mom drink every single day. We normally drink during the day, and when we are with friends, when we are alone, it's just our friends to talk to, and the importance live for me. It reminds me home. It reminds me to be connected with nature, connected with the earth, but also connected with my family. And that's for me the beauty of mate. And it reminds me of conversation with friends, like long conversations. When we met in Argentina, we were friends. We just have long conversations talking about life and things. And that's what's matter for me. And I'm not sure if I'm sure people have different experience and different lives and in relationship to these drinks. So I would love to hear later, or if you are here and you want to share your experience with mate, I would love to hear which one is yours. Let's see if she's here or she's not yet. I cannot see. I'm not sure if she sent. I cannot see her. Let me invite. Maybe can I invite someone? Technology and myself are not the best friends. I think I invite her, but let's see. Let's wait. We had a conversation just 20 minutes ago to see that everything it was working. Yes, she's here. I was waiting for you, my love. So when I think you had to send a request, maybe to join, and I will accept you. Hello. Why? I'm not sure if you have problems or not, connected or not. In the meantime, thank you everyone for joining. Hello. Thank you for joining and for being part. I wanted to be part of this. Hello for this conversation about feminine energy. It will be really interesting. I really am looking forward to hear the story of Rabia. I don't know if you follow her, but she has a very wildness goddess energy inside her, and she shares a lot of information about how to connect with yourself, to connect with your own self-love, and your confidence. So that was one of the reasons, because I chose her to have this conversation together, because I think it would be inspiring for you as well. I'm not sure if you're having problems, my love, to share, to join or not. I think you need to send me a request, but I already sent you another invite, but I'm not sure if I think now it's here. Yay!
Hi.
Yes, we made it.
Definitely. Yes.
Amazing.
I think my laptop was not allowing me to request.
Oh, okay. No, don't worry. We are here. Thank you for joining. It's an honor again for me to be here with you, and to have this conversation together, and to listen, not only for myself, everyone who will listen now or later, your story, and our conversation about feminine energy. So, would you like to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Okay, my name is Rabia. I am a singer-songwriter and I do events curating, mostly to do with, bringing people joy through music, healing, food, community. And yeah, my music name is Rabia, and I like to make music that sort of allows me to share feminine wisdom through it, whether it's learning from it or whether it's just some feminine energy pearls, whatever it is. Also dancing and things like that. And I'm a mum of 3 as well. I raised 3 children by myself. So that's a little bit about me. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. I was sharing before that we are going to have a conversation about feminine energy, and I think before we start deep into your story, I think it's important to make clarify what is in feminine energy and what is in masculine energy, so we are all in the same page. So let's say. Feminine, just for all of us to understand, we are talking about energy, is not gender here, and we all of us has this feminine and masculine energy, and it's important for each of us to recognize which part is acting in different situations or in different experience that we are living. Okay, let me give you an example. We are in the more feminine energy when we are more connecting with our intuition, with our flow, with trusting life, with our nurturing energy with ourselves and others, with our own emotions, with compassions. What other way it could be? When we understand that we flow with life, we can be more. I don't have the word now in my mouth. Feel free to add anything, Rabia, if you think that I'm missing something.
Yeah, I love how you put it all together. Yeah, I feel like the secure aspect in yourself it's like, I feel like the feminine energy is, like you said, it's the water. I'll describe it as water. It's like a flowing water that can mold, can move, can be flexible in every aspect of life. And I feel like the masculine energy within us is like the cup that holds that water, keeps us feeling secure and allowing to trust the world as we're curious and playful. And yeah, I feel like the doing part of us, the assertive parts of us, more that masculine side, and then the feminine side would be the more nurturing, like really more nurturing and like you said, intuitive. Yeah, able to see, able to be sort of more patient and sort of
Yeah,
I don't know,
I
present and yeah.
exactly. Thank you for adding that. And something that you also can recognize in yourself when you are acting in a more masculine energy is when you are focusing, which is nothing wrong with it, but is to be mindful. When we focus very much in the doing, in the have to do, and I have to achieve, which if in a more aware way and mindful way, it's okay. But it's something to be aware of from which place you are acting in the assertiveness. So say, okay, I want this and I'm going in that direction. It's like that arrow that you take and you place it into that goal. That could be a masculine energy. And giving
Mm.
this little summary, now I would like to hear from you. What is your story and your connection with the feminine energy? How,
Powerful. Thank you. Thank you so much, first of all, for allowing me to share this story. I always want to allow my story to help others. So I'm excited for anyone that hears it to, if you feel, something resonating, feel free to message me and ask me more, because if it helps to shift your life, I'll be very happy. But I'm very vulnerable about it, about my life now. So it was an interesting journey. I came from quite a difficult childhood, which sort of made me leave home around the age of, let's say, 19 to 20. And I fell into the arms of somebody who wasn't the best partner for me, and we were not the best for each other. I learned so much from that. I learned that I was having a lot of beliefs about myself, such as unworthy, not good enough, because our relationships with others kind of show us where we are operating from. So I then had to leave that. It was a marriage of 8 years. I had to leave that marriage with my 3 children and raise them by myself for the last 7 years. So because I sort of grew up in quite a strict upbringing where I was only allowed to sort of cook, clean, go to school, but the main thing was cooking, cleaning, looking after children. It was mainly like that. That's how I grew up. So it was like me realizing I'm alone with 3 children. How do I balance myself? Because I'm going to make lemonade out of lemons. I want to make sure that I'm not too much in the extremes of any side of me. And back then, I didn't know what these sides of me were. I just wanted to always be balanced. I wanted to be the best mother for these children. So it's not easy, though I really want to share this, especially for mothers, to be anyone, women in general, anything in life. We can even nurture a plant in a balanced way. So I realized that I had to heal my traumas, and healing my trauma moved me away from a stagnant, masculine, sort of very painful, resentful energy. Pain can store into your body, and I started dancing. It was just intuitively, I was just dancing so much in the living room while my children were sleeping, just in the beginning of my journey. And that's how it started. I was shaking my body by myself in the living room. The children were up there sleeping. And I was like, I'm gonna shake this, I'm gonna shake. It was enjoyable, but also I felt better the next day. And then I was like, wait, there's something about the dancing. What is this? I was like, there's something going on. Like, what is going on? Because I grew up in a very strict upbringing where women, well, unfortunately, I was not allowed to really dance or sing. Imagine not being allowed to be this feminine part of myself. So that part was really beautiful. And then I started to do events on helping others to release trauma on by using your body and moving with the flow. So I created music and started to guide people. Did you
no,
want
no,
to ask anything before I
please
carry
do.
on?
I really, I'm enjoying the story because I'm sure a lot of women resonate with it, with the restriction of themselves of not allowing to express or not allowing themselves to feel, or even the little of of movement, of the importance as a woman, maybe for everyone, but as a woman, the
Yeah.
movement and allowing your body to feel your hips, to feel the movement of your own body and to sense it, it can connect you to a very deep level with yourself that you cannot even imagine. So that is the beautiful message. But please keep going.
Thank you. Beautiful, Natalia. That was beautifully put. You really put it in a beautiful package there. That is exactly what happened. And I realized that it was allowing me to connect with myself. And I was like, what does it mean? Because people keep talking about what does it mean to connect with yourself? I learned later that it's to connect with the intuition, whatever that oracle is inside of us, that intuition. And it's not easy to connect to that. So I would get to that point as well. Like that's sort of mainly how I got to this journey. I first started to do it somatically, so somatic movement where the body was releasing trauma, and I started to feel who I am again. What am I? Who am I? It was still a very long journey, still 7 years of this, just what am I? Is this correct? Shall I do this? I don't know what's happening, and where's this pain coming from? And you know what I've learned is everything has to be in balance, and this is why I love this conversation with you, Natalia, today, because the feminine's there, but there's also the masculine, and there's a healthy masculine inside of us, and there's a unhealthy masculine inside of all of us. So there's like all these different things, and what are they? We'll speak about it later. But I guess what I'm wanting to say is that that's sort of how I got in touch with femininity. It started off with somatic, and then I went into the whole dynamic of, actually, I do not regret it, but I went into that whole thing of, as a feminine woman, you know, I need to look a certain way. So I started to work on my body, I started to work on my looks, but it wasn't really helping too much, because it was just only one aspect. It was almost like saying all women have to have long hair and, you know, your body like this and all that. And I was kind of falling into that trap, you know, and I was like looking for a rich husband, you know, and I did find one, and he wasn't unfortunately, he wasn't the right person. And I was like, but I'm doing everything right. You know, I have the diamonds, I have everything that he's giving me, but what's happening? And I was like, oh, okay. Something inside of me was like, this is not feminine energy. This is not balanced feminine energy. So, you know, I learned that I had to then do some work in myself. That's when I started to really understand feminine energy, when I connected with my intuition. And intuition is not easy, because you have to, so I had to be able to recognize my shadows, which is basically my root beliefs. As a woman, I had to see what my root beliefs was, no matter how much uncomfortable it was, how horrible it was. I had to face it. And some of these amazing root beliefs were reflected back to me by people,
Exactly.
by relationships. And these people, right. And these mirrors helped me. Even the men in my life, they helped to reflect back. Even if they wasn't the most best men in my life, they reflected to me what I was attracting and how come I was attracting that. So I was like, okay, what is going on? So I obviously realized that I have to be more in touch with my intuition. My health was deteriorating because of the trauma I faced. So I was like very unwell. I started to study Unani medicine and Ayurvedic medicine. Yeah, and this is when I stopped eating meat, but it's not really something that I push on other people. It's just for me. It's just I needed to do that, and I needed to stop eating meat, just heal all of the things that were going through and detox my body. So I started to heal other people. I started to do sort of, you know, helping people with their diet. I was a health coach for a while, and then I became a confidence coach, and then I became sort of more of a sort of energetic reader. All of that. Yeah, I was doing all of this, and I forgot about my music. So, so you know, people were like, okay, Rabia's this, you know, doing healings and etc. And I was like, oh, this is what I need to do. And I realized that that's not my part. My femininity came through from my music. And one day, after a very painful sort of, it was an avoidant man, and I was obviously attracting him because of my inner self, my inside attracted him. And after that, I was on the kitchen floor and I wrote the song Soul, which I released. I wrote it 5 years ago, but this song was to my own soul,
to yourself,
to
yeah.
me, my inner right, my sovereignty. Nothing to do with the man, nothing to do with the relationship. It was just like, hey, I love myself now. So this song came up. Like, I love who I am, and you know, the feminine energy came through beautifully. It was like, trust yourself, Rabia. Like, you know, you can sing. I didn't believe in my singing. I had to have friends pick me up the ass, and they were like, are you gonna sing or what? Like, one friend got my
Do
laptop and he was
it,
just like,
yeah.
you need to do, can you stop the healings now? Can you stop it? Because, and then my mentor was like, your voice, it will help people. The voice will be the healing. And I was just like, I had to break through all of that, and I started singing finally. And a lot of people think that the singing is something I've been doing for years, but it hasn't. It's just something that was supposed to be done. It was
You're from
my
record.
feminine calling.
But I would
And
like to highlight something,
yeah,
because
go for it.
it's not that whatever you do before it was something that you didn't have to. All the steps that you did before leads you to where you are now. And if you haven't done all the healing and the shadow work and the part that knowing yourself and connecting with that voice that is going through you very fluidly now, you will not be able to share it in the same way. So what you are sharing now and the energy that you are sharing through your voice at this moment is a reflection of what you already, I don't want to call it heal because you are a whole person, but it's all the work that you have done before. And the expression that you are now in, that confident expression in your voice, it came from that work. So acknowledging that all the process that we are going through is so important, and we need to respect that time.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
it gives you also the idea that you mentioned before about it took you years to connect with your intuition. And that's normal.
Yeah.
People today wants to connect with their intuition from one day to another. No,
Yeah.
it's not possible. I'm sorry, I give you the bad news of that, but it's not
Yeah.
possible. It takes you time. It takes
This,
you discipline. It takes you devotion to yourself to say, and maybe you are not even looking like you were not even looking to connect with your intuition. It came naturally because you were doing the work, and that's important also to stop to try to stop the idea that you have to do something or you have to connect with something special. You just need to be yourself. You just need to
yeah.
do wherever it fills your heart. And if at that moment what it fills your heart, it was dancing, it was movement, it because you needed that. If now what you need
Yes.
is sharing your voice, it's because it's what you are here to do. That's the intuition. It's recognizing what you need in that stage of your life and respecting that, because it will be different.
So
So
beautiful.
keep going.
And
I love your story. I love you.
thank you. No, I just love your input there, because what you're saying is just honoring your journey. There's no destination. And that is another feminine quality. It's like really process, not feminine as in if a man does
Yeah.
that, it doesn't mean that he's now feminine. No. It's just understanding that there isn't an end destination. We don't have one. It's just honoring the fact that I was dancing and shaking in my living room to to you know,
Yeah.
something that I thought was not allowed, it was forbidden when I was
Yeah.
growing up, to now just honoring it and sort of like understanding it in a different way. So, you know, validation is another thing as well. I learned on this feminine journey, on this whole thing, is just, do I do something to seek validation, or do I do it just to be myself? Do I do it just like, ah, oh, this feels good, this feels nice, this is, I want to mention this because for for women who are listening today, and even men, you really help
Yeah.
your women too if you are understanding of it. we do all have a need for validation, and it comes out in different ways, you know. And the moment that we realize that we can set that free, I feel like that's where the inner confidence comes out. And I feel like as women and as men too, our inner confidence, whew, it's like fire. It's like fire when you don't need validation. It's like, you know, and I think that's powerful. Feminine energy is really powerful. And of course, in a podcast where we're speaking about masculinity, we can talk about that. But right now, I just want to talk about how powerful feminine energy is. You know, it's really like it creates. It creates.
Yeah.
That's another way, right, Natalia? Like
It's
it's
creating.
creating
I'm glad
energy.
that you touched that, because I wanted to talk
Mm,
the point of the connection of creativity and feminine energy is it, it's like intertwined. It's like all together. It cannot be separated, and it's not something that is for a man or a woman, like we said before. It's for everyone, and that connection, we can, if we want to put it in feeling in our body, we can place it in, let's say, in the sacral chakra, where it's just around your belly button, if you don't know where your sacral chakra is. And for women, there is our connection with our womb, it's our connection with our waters, with our emotional body. And if you are a man, you still have that tandem, is called in the Tao. It's an energy center that is in the same location. Uh, and from there is where we connect with our own creation. And creation in women's, it could be the creation of a life of a person, it could be a creation of a project, it could be a creation, anything, anything. It's just some people, I hear a lot of women saying, "I'm not a creative person." No, that's not true. You are a being, and you are already a creative. Uh, it's just maybe you are not much connected with that part of you, but you are. And being a creative person is being creating a beautiful meal for your family. You don't have to paint a beautiful painting to be a creative person. You can create
yeah.
a beautiful gathering for your friends. You can create a conversation and a space for someone who needs to be listened. Uh, you can create so many things, and that connection is that nurturing energy that we call here feminine energy. It's that connection with your creativity, with your way of seeing life in a more expanded way. And
Yes.
oh, thank you. She's saying that our energy is beautiful, and the talk is beautiful. Thank you, my love.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
so there are that's important to recognize that creativity is for everyone, and that
Yeah.
energy and the feminine energy and creativity is one energy that we need to start stepping into a little bit more. And one way is, like you said before, is movement
Mm,
is allowing that energy to move through you, through your body, and recognizing where you need, at that moment of life, you need to move. Where it could be a movement in your room. You don't need to go somewhere else to
yes.
room. It's just maybe if I know that for some women it feels like I cannot do that.
Yeah.
And depending your
Mm,
environment or where you are, you feel afraid to do it.
yeah.
At the beginning, if you are in that position, go to the toilet and do it by yourself.
Yes.
The first time that when you wake up and you are brushing your teeth and you are maybe alone in the toilet, move your hips
Yeah.
and connect with that part of you. When you are brushing your teeth, just move your hips. And that simple detail, it could change your day. And again, it doesn't happen from one day to another. It's something that you keep doing it and doing it, and at some point you will see the differences. And how you will see is
Yeah.
in the way that you relate with other people. Uh, that's the best way that you can see changes in your life, is how you react to the same situations in life, but in a different way. Um,
and that's how you see improvement in yourself, and how you see your own connection with your own energy. So yeah, I thank you for bringing that word.
So beautiful. I couldn't have said it better. And it's the thing about the balancing of the energies. It's like you were saying, you can do it
Mm.
anywhere, and anybody can do it as well. And it just comes, I feel so far my journey, and I'm
Mm.
always open to learning something that some of my friends, I form opinions, I grow, I'm flexible, but I feel that feminine energy just comes
Yeah.
out differently in men than women. That's the only, but it's there. Like I feel like us moving our body and our hips, it's so important. And I feel like when it comes to men, I feel like for them to access their intuition, which is something that, some men may rely on a woman to do, but you can also do it yourself. And when you do it yourself, it's magic because you're free.
Mm.
And I feel the same about a woman. When we decide that we want to move our body in that way, the shame, releasing all that shame, and like you said, it can be in a toilet. I actually, when I'm cooking, I dance, um, and I
Mm.
release shame. And there's a lot of shame on us women. I feel like I understand some of the reasons why. I understand that some of us, us women, we may act. I have done, by the way, in those 7 years when I was, learning who I am. I have acted in ways that I will go back and be like, no, what did I just do? Like, what the heck was that? I look back and I don't feel shame though. I'm like, okay, that was a teenager version of Rabia. I'm still growing. I'm becoming a woman. I'm becoming a woman. Woman, the word woman. Ooh, I like that woman. That word. The word. So it's
Yeah.
just, dancing, but like, except there was a point where I didn't know how to contain that newfound feminine energy of mine. And so it was kind of going a bit too crazy, like in terms of dancing so much. I didn't realize that it can also fall into the
Mm.
category of sexuality a little bit, in front of men outside or whatever. And I was just like, you know what? There's something going wrong here because that's not what I want. I don't want the attention from men. So what am I doing wrong? Or is there something I'm doing that I could change a little bit? So I just started to go to movement practices where men
Yeah.
understand and respect women who move not for the reason of sexuality, but more for being yourself. And I personally just feel like, I don't really like to share that sexual energy like that. I like to sort of, that's another thing I've learned, that just making sure it's my sensual energy, which is just me.
Mm.
And a lot of people ask about that. Hey, what's the difference between sexual and sensual? Well, sexual is definitely a part of us and we shouldn't shame it. It's there. The sensual part, I will feel, and please Natalia, correct me what you feel about this. I feel like the sensual part of
Yeah.
us is another feminine aspect. It's like part of being a woman who brings like a piece of, where's my papaya? Somewhere over here. Here's my papaya. And the way I'm gonna eat this papaya,
Yeah.
it's like, just really enjoying it and savoring and being in this
It's a
moment.
pleasure. It's a pleasure on every
Yeah,
little things that you do in life, and that you can relate it
yes,
to your sensual and the pleasure of maybe the eating that little piece and taste it and savor it, and being present with every movement that you do, drinking a tea, being present, like in this conversation, is the pleasure of I can say it is the pleasure of being present. It's the pleasure of enjoying life and every single moment. um so that could be an
yeah,
expression, one of the expressions of sensuality. It's not only related to sexuality, but yeah, it's are interconnected.
it is somehow. And it's just really how, when you
Mm.
know why you're doing something, other people's opinion doesn't matter anymore because your intentions are so pure. And that's another element, of a confident feminine energy. I feel just knowing that your oracle, your intuition, is telling you to do something, and you, like, I seen your paintings on your stories, and I was looking at them, and it just looked beautiful. Just in your innocence, just spraying and doing that. That's something I would like to do more of. So I would love to learn from you. I am more on the musical side of things and the movement side, but you know, I love to see that, because I was looking at it and it gave me joy, you know. And you just mentioned another topic, pleasure and joy and playfulness. One of the reasons why when I do my performances, when I sing, I do like to bring that energy on stage. I want everybody to feel that feeling of, you can just have fun, and it's joyful, and it raises kind of how you feel about yourself as well in the moment, and you forget about the chitter chatter that never goes away. And yes, one reason why I feel more balanced as a human being right now is because I did the work, and I'm continuing to do the work. I'm healed. I have now realized the word healing is thrown about a lot, but it's just really coming into awareness of all parts of me.
I like to call it more balance than healing. But it's just a word, it's a concept, and you can put it, but it's more understanding. For me, it's a remembering. A remembering of our own divinity or our own essence. It's a remembering of coming, for me, coming back home. To myself,
yourself.
exactly. Is that inner work, and the inner work, it will be until you die, so don't worry, don't rush, you still have time.
Absolutely. I love that. And I just feel like it's all these different parts of myself. There's no destination. However, like, understanding the feminine and the masculine energy was a very important part of my life, however, because without knowing about it, there's this fear of sort of being able to, not even fear, it's just going into one side without realizing too much. Because think about it. I was married. I was the housewife. I had the children. I did all of that. I'll be honest with you, it was imbalanced. For me personally, it was imbalanced because I was not really being my true self. And that's why I attracted a partner who also didn't accept me, because I wasn't accepting me, because I didn't know me. So if I didn't know me, I fell into being just a housewife. And there's nothing wrong with being a housewife. A lot of women want to be, though there is something unique in all of our feminine energies. I love the qualities of a woman cooking and dancing, because I obviously was completely immersed in those things. I didn't really work. I didn't really have a proper job. I did have I did study a law degree. This is what I studied. I studied law, and then I just did whatever my parents taught me to do, and it was just to be a wife. And so I know that that was imbalanced energy. It was completely in my light feminine. I didn't know how to assert myself. I didn't know how to find what was true to me, how to ask for
Very
my
important.
needs as a woman, right? That voice, asking for your needs as a woman, is very important. It's not
it's for everyone to
feminine
have it.
to exactly, and it can be very imbalanced if you're so passive and you're so like whatever. I'm not, you know, it's different to surrendering to your own beautiful flow. And some people say surrendering to a man or whatever, but I don't really believe we surrender to a man. I feel we surrender to ourselves, and we surrender to, if you believe in God, if you believe in higher power, believe in light energy, whatever it is, whatever you believe in, there's something that we surrender to in ourselves. And I feel like when I realized that was very imbalanced, and actually I needed to balance myself, that's when I learned how to be more assertive, be, you know, be able to see when someone is not really honoring me, not treating me with respect. Learning what self-respect is very important. So if you don't have boundaries, then imagine how will other people treat you. And so that's a big thing for me, for being a balanced. I don't believe we're ever too balanced. Sometimes we move and shift, but But being more balanced and self-aware,
You
and I
can call
think that's a
it,
big one, like
being
self-aware.
more mindful of self-aware. Because in life, unless you
Yes,
live in a
mind.
mountain alone, you will still find challenges in your life. You will still find that
Yeah.
triggerings that it will show you where you need to balance yourself, where you need to come, not balance, where you need to come back to your center. And it will be
Yeah.
experiencing in your life people that will show you, okay, you are in this position, you are forgetting where coming back home, like what I call coming back to your essence. You are forgetting that part. So I'm going to show you where you need to come back
Mhm.
home. Where do you need to see yourself, and where are you challenging yourself, or where you are not seeing? And for that reason, maybe another person will be your mirror and it will tell you, look, this is something that you need to see because you don't want to see in yourself, or you don't want to have the space to
Yeah.
listen. And so the good thing on this life, in this world, that someone else will show you to you, and
Yeah.
it will be up to you. There is a phrase that I like it, and it's life is how is it? It's happening for you, not to you. And
Ah, gorgeous.
and depending the experience that you have, is your choice the how you take it, as
Yeah,
something that will be your course or your blessing. Uh, Again, it's your choice, and
absolutely.
how you learn or you take that experience for yourself. Um,
Mm.
yeah, thank you for sharing everything, all your story. I think it's very inspiring for anyone that who is listening now. Thank you for everyone who joined, and for everyone who will listen later. Uh, I felt inspired by yourself, and even by your energy and for you sharing, and something that I would like to touch as well, because I think it's very important, is how the importance of leading as a woman in not as a woman, let's take it as a more feminine energy, more than a woman as a gender, as a feminine energy, the importance of creating that leadership and empowerment through this, to inspire the creation of community or workplace where you are more connected. For
Mm.
example, let me give you an example. Um,
Mm.
I don't know if you noticed, when you are when women came together, I will put it as a woman, but it could be anyone, uh, came together from a place of no competition, from a place of
Yeah.
cherish each other, and say, like you were mentioned before, you like my art, or I like the way that you sing and how you express. Understanding that each of us has a different role, and each of us has a different skill and a gift that you will put in service to the world. And that is something that you came here to give. Understanding that maybe the other person has something different, and honoring that, and not trying to compete or
Yeah.
to say, I want to do that because that person is doing it. If not honoring yourself and your own gift, and you came together with with that conviction of knowing who you are and what you are here to give. When
Yeah.
you combine that energy with other people who are in the same place, what you create, it could be so powerful. And it could be, and it will be from a place of understanding that each of you will put in the table what is needed, and
Mm.
knowing that today maybe for you is the singing, today maybe for me is the
Yeah.
art, from another
Yeah.
person it could be administrative part, from another person it could be their communication, from another, and you create a team that it could thrive from a different place. And the creation from that group of people, again, it came from a different energy. I don't know how, I'm trying to find the right word, but at the moment I cannot
Mm.
find it. It's because it emphasizes
Yeah.
collaboration, empathy,
Mm.
nurturing
Um,
in
yeah.
the way that you
Yeah.
work, or in the way that you keep creating things. And it creates like a ripple effect where leading from that position,
Yeah.
what you do, you still creating better relationships at the same time. You take relationship not only with your people that you work, people in your family, people inspiring others to act from a different position and to understand that each of us is
Yeah.
different, and nurturing that part of you is important instead of competing with others. I don't know if I'm explaining
Yes.
myself well.
I totally hear you. And in a sort of like wow, that was powerful. I see where you're coming from completely. See, regardless of whether we're a man or a woman,
Yeah.
remember it comes out differently in men and comes out differently in women. But let's just speak about us for now, for women for now. When we come together and we are not in that competitive energy, we allow ourselves to access our oracles and our intuition. That then allows us to then be really ourselves. And then also, when you know yourself, you become confident. So then that insecurity goes away. So when women compete with each other, they are insecure that this person's better than me. That person, oh, I wish I could do that. But you be inspired by your sisters. You be inspired by the other women in your life. I get inspired by men also in my life, and I'm like, I would love my masculine side to be a bit more like this, because it's like, men, wow, the way they do with the masculine side, they're pros at that, but we are pros. Women, we are pros at the feminine energy. We can access the oracle in a much more fluid way, and that's why when man and woman work together in a business, we have two parts. You see how that works? So the man relies on the oracle of the woman, regardless of, like, hey, what do you think about this? And she'll just tune in and she'll get her intuition and she'll be like, I don't think we should work with that person because of this and this. And she has a knowing. So imagine collaborations with men and women, and imagine collaborations with different aspects of women. We are all unique. So my feminine essence is so different to your feminine essence. But I appreciate it. And I appreciate other women's feminine essence. Some women's feminine essence suits so well to, she just, she does recipes and she just cooks and she creates for her children and her man and her husband and whatever. That's her feminine essence, and that is what she brings. And it's so beautiful and unique. And I've seen women do it effortlessly. So wherever we do things effortlessly, it's like effortless. That's where I focus. And I love you mentioning creativity, because if I didn't access creativity with my intuition, I did a course by William Whitecloud, and that oh my god, that was changed my life. It changed my life. I accessed my intuition. I was able to trust it, and then I was able to collaborations to do my events. I was able to say, but there was one event I did, and I would love to share this with you, because look, we're not perfect. None of us are perfect. My first event, my own insecurities were coming. All the people at the event were reflecting back all of my darkness to me. They were like, they were showing me I'm not good enough and all sorts of things. There was a woman who was very horrible to me in my friendship group. That was my first event I did. I cried when I got home, and I didn't do another event in 2 months. And then and it was so like, but then my next event was powerful, and the next one, it was a shadow work experience. It was because I didn't. So a very important thing, the way we see ourselves is the reflection. And I really love the saying that you said, but this saying of our inner world reflects back to the outer world. So if we believe in that premise, because some people might not believe in it, but I feel, just for me personally, as a knowing, and it's helped my life. The way I see myself is the way others will see me too. And yes, there are some that will come to challenge and to make us grow. If we can see it always like that this person is growing, trust me, in the moment, my triggers might come up, and they might be like, what is that person doing? And in that moment, you just feel it. It's like, okay, right now I feel rejected. Okay, in this moment, I feel rejected. So how am I going to react? Okay. So if a woman I ask, hey, would you do this collaboration with me? And she said like, oh sis, I'm really sorry. I don't, I might just go away feeling rejected, or I might just be like, yeah, I understand. This woman is not fit for me. And we just understand that everything comes into place.
Yeah.
We don't control it, because competing is like controlling. And I don't think that's feminine energy. I don't think that's a healthy feminine energy if we're trying to control everything. If we allow things to happen, we can allow then the right sisters to come, the right women to come into our businesses and, you know, help us to thrive. And something doesn't work, we surrender to that moment and be like, okay, that wasn't for me, and just keep attracting. And you know, we do also have to take action though. Everything is not just being in a surrendered place. We do take, but we take action on the intuition. So it's funny how you need that feminine energy. You need it. Even as a man, you need that. When you're doing a business and everything, you can't always rely upon a woman to access that oracle for you. As a man, meditation, tuning yourself, centering yourself, you can then run your business with that feminine, that element of feminine energy. And that's what I wanted to say about if I was to summarize it, I would say that if we know ourselves, if we know ourselves better, we can then shun away those triggers and not compete with our sisters or our brothers that we want to work with. And we can really collaborate as a beautiful collaborative. I want to create a festival, a kind of a community someday. That's something I put out to the universe, and I would love some people to come join me on that mission. And you know, I want to create a community aspect. I haven't done that yet. I've done little bits of it, but I want people to experience joy. I want to show them how to create herbal concoctions to heal themselves. I want to, you know, have sisters come together and sometimes pamper each other. You know, sometimes we just need another sister. A man would not be able to do that for us. A sister will be able to do that for us. You know, so it's just, you know, just having that. And then I want to speak to a man one day, a brother in the community, and be like, brother, look, I have a son. I just want some advice from you. And we give and take. Like, my son doesn't know how to navigate this. Will you help us? And I'm a single mom myself, but, you know, an empowered mother, I call myself. You know, I call myself empowered because I do feel empowered, because I can access both energies in myself. I don't feel like I need to rely on something external. And I want that sovereign for everybody, that sovereignty for everyone. So
that was
that's like in
beautiful.
summary. I hope I've
summarized. Thank you very much. I think we are already on time. I'm not sure if we can go further, because I'm not sure if I will be able to download it later. But I love your story. I love you, all your sharings that you gave today. I appreciate. I'm sure everyone here is appreciated as well, and I'm sure they will find it inspiring, like I did. So thank you very much. Thank you with all my heart. And I think that's. I was going to ask you if you want to give words of inspiration, but you did the whole talk as words of inspiration.
I have some words of inspiration, and I think it is basically like I would probably say that confidence in yourself, knowing that you become sovereign. You are sovereign already. So no broken parts of yourself. Like, people think we're broken. We're actually not broken.
We
just need to access
and back how to come back.
I love
it. Oops, I think you lose connection, or I lose connection. I'm not sure. Well, I hope you enjoyed the conversation. With this another matter time, I will try to do this matter times at least the month and a half, and it's about talking with women. So I give this space for women to share the story, to share who they are, and to talk a different aspect of themselves. You come back. Okay. Thank you. No. I think it was the connection things, but I was just trying to wrap up. But again, thank you. Thank you for your time, Rabia. And for everyone who was connecting today, thank you very much. And yeah, is there anything that you would like to say at the end, or we just yeah,
I
yeah,
would I just want to say thank you for creating this beautiful space and choosing myself to come on, and somehow you used your intuition to know
yeah.
that how much your intuition found me. So it was
Yeah.
wonderful to meet you when I actually met you as well ages ago. So thank you for that, for using your feminine energy to create this space
Thank
for us
you for other
for,
women to be
and
inspired.
for others.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, everyone. I send you, all of you, a lot of love, and I hope you have a beautiful day. So see you soon. Thank you. Thank you, Rabia. Bye bye.